how it works, and also how it works and kind of what it means to make it happen. So the way career pathway work works, and so think about really, most of you I think are in the disability realm, working in disability organizations. The thing that's so key about this is it's small chunks of content or instruction or learning. And so when you think about especially someone who has so many challenges in life, so no matter where they are as far as their how they're disadvantaged, they can think about doing almost anything for 6 to 8 weeks. It's not taking on a full-time associate degree or doing anything on a full-time realm. And so the way career pathway work works is that we actually, and so this is kind of where the hard work is with the colleges, you start with what might be a full associate degree or a full diploma, a one-year diploma. And you sit down with industry and the faculty and you think about what are the incremental skill sets that will first get a person in the door on job one, will get the person moving in a pathway and into an advancement, and that's where we're using the term stackable credentials. So you can think about, and if we had brought some more visuals for you, you can think about anywhere from like 2 to 12 different stacks of 6 to 8 credits of content that people can take over time to get to actually a full-blown degree. So, conceptually, you're thinking about these building blocks. The thing that's really neat about career pathway work is that you don't also have to do all the building blocks all the time forever. So you may be in a track, business technology would be a good example, or IT, where you might start to flood the market. You do a certain kind of training and you're finding that your customers aren't getting jobs. Well, in a career pathway model, you've got these building blocks, there's 6 credits. They actually, they kind of go off to different coursework, different disciplines. So let's use medical. You might do CNA, but then you might go over to phlebotomy, or you might be able to go over to surgical tech or something, take a different path. You can stop doing the second credential or the third credential because you've flooded the market. You can literally take that offline for a couple of years. So you're not in the situation of having to design something and do it over and over and over again just because you have it. You actually, it's incremental enough that you can take it offline. When Seth was talking about the basic skills, what also is really important about this is especially adult learners have a very, very hard time of thinking about being in adult basic education. I mean, Marjorie will tell you, that's like, I'm going to do adult basic education for a year or two before I ever get to doing anything around credentials. The new method is it's called embedded basic skills. So what we've done a lot of hard work on, and again, this is like at a faculty level where you get your colleges involved, you think about what the applied basic skills are to that skill set. So if you're in manufacturing, you're talking about measurement, or you're talking about the terminology of the manufacturing environment, or teamwork, or the kind of communication that you will do in manufacturing. You take those basic skills, you embed them, and you apply them into the curriculum. So that's why I'm saying scale. If you're just starting into this, think about a small corner of this that you're going to do and do it well. And think about these things. Because you, as adult learners, we're just getting at the point, and you're all in this in Wisconsin, where if we had not had the recession, we would be in a worker shortage environment, which means we are seriously on the clock on preparing a workforce, a pipeline. So we don't have 2 to 5 years to prepare a workforce. We need to have everything as packaged and as just in time and as relevant as possible to move a workforce in and up as soon as possible. Whether that's an adult workforce or whether it's a young adult workforce. Then if you see at the bottom, the green and then whatever that color is kind of a blue-green. The other thing about pathway work that Seth alluded to is at each stage you develop it so that your customer can job out. Now this is when you're in conversations with the technical college, and luckily we've been out in the state a lot, and we've worked with the Wisconsin type of college system, so it isn't a brand new conversation you're trying to pioneer into. But this is hard for colleges because they don't get the gold star for people dropping out. And I don't know how much you know about that system, but it's just not a great thing for them if people aren't retained through their entire degrees. So colleges that make commitments to this are actually standing up in front of their publics and having the same conversation that their mission is to make people relevant to the workforce. It's not just about stacking up a long-term credential. So in this work, you actually designed it so that at each stage, your customer can see that they could get a certain kind of a job. So like on the far left-hand side of the chart, they know that if we do this, we'll get an entry-level job. As we move into maybe the first or second stackable credential, we'll get a job that actually will have something to do with that credential. They'll be told enough because industry has said if you have this set of skills, you can get inside. And you keep going that way. But at each stage, a person can know that if I make this 8-week commitment or this 12-week commitment or this half-a-year commitment, I'm going to actually have a certain job mark that I can make.